Hello, good afternoon, Facebook. Welcome back to another Middletown Area Historical Society Middletown History Vault. It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon, and we're hoping people jump in here and listen to our chat today about the Swatara Ferry House. So as you come on in, hit those emojis, let us know you're here, type in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. We love to see where people are from. We've had people from South America, California, Georgia, all over the place watching these videos about the great history of Middletown, Pennsylvania. As I said, today we're standing outside the Swatara Ferry House. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go inside today. There's a structural beam that needs replaced underneath the floor. And for safety purposes and to preserve the structure, we're not going to go inside to take a look. So we'll just be right outside, and we'll talk about this great history of this building, the Swatara Ferry House, or some people call it the Old Fort. It really was never used as per se a fort. It was an actual ferry house. Located on South Union Street here in Middletown, near the Liberty Band Hall. You can see it there in the background. We talked about that a few weeks ago. And it sits right along the Swatara Creek, which is back here behind me, which makes it the perfect location for a ferry house, as many people went up and down the Swatara heading towards the Susquehanna River. It's a 1.5 story log structure, has a full stone foundation and cellar with it, built in 2 sections, one and then the other repeating the same structure on each side. They have their own separate doorway, and they have unique chimneys. You can see the 2 chimneys on the top, and it has a basic German floor plan. Now the structure dates back to about 1820. Some history says it's even older than that. However, it really can't be proven. There's some things that says it was used as a ferry house in the 1700s, built by 2 gentlemen that did ferrying of goods. And there's also some comments stating that it was used to house prisoners during the Revolution. However, the construction materials used on this building would prove prior to 1800 structure is not true. They used machined nails, which means the building would have been built after 1800s. So we're saying the building dates back to 1820, and it has a strong architectural significance. It represents a type of structure that has not survived in any great numbers in the state of Pennsylvania. It's actually the sole known survivor of a vernacular structure in Dauphin County. Now you might say, a vernacular structure, what is that? That's a structure made of materials that were found right here in the area. So they would have used the timbers and stuff that were right here on this property to build it. The ferry house served as a ferry traffic for the Susquehanna River, again, as they would make their way up and down the Swatara Creek and off the Susquehanna River. This building was actually placed on the National Registry of Historic Places back in September 27, 1976. It's pretty cool. Middletown actually has 6 structures on the National Registry of Historic Places. Not many towns even have 1. Middletown boasts 6. The building at one time was owned by the Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority, and they took it over to try to preserve the building, and then they got it registered on the National Registry of Historic Places. The Middletown Area Historical Society purchased the property back on January 2nd, 1981 for $3,200. They've maintained it and taken care of this land, along with, again, the Liberty Band Hall property. So what we'll do now is we'll flip the camera around. We'll just take a view of the outside of the structure. Again, we can't go inside because of the safety of a new beam that needs placed inside. And that's something, as I always say, if you want to donate to help collect, preserve, and teach history of Middletown, send that check to 29 East Main Street, Middletown, Pennsylvania, made out to the Middletown Area Historical Society. They are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And those kind of funds would help put that structural beam back under this cabin so that we can get this opened and actually have tours inside of this fantastic structure. So let me flip this camera around. We'll take a look at the outside. Okay, So you can see there's quite a bit of property here around the cabin. This is actually up right in front of the front steps of the cabin. Again, all the wood line in the background, that would be the Swatara Creek. And you come around, and off in the distance here would be what is now 441 heading down towards Columbia. You see the Liberty Band Hall. And here is, we're right up close, here is the log cabin structure Ferry house. It's a vernacular building. Again, they would have used materials right here on site, so a lot of these logs most likely came from within the area. You see the brownstone on the bottom, or sandstone. It's a full stack stone and mortar basement. The access ways are down below to get in, and you can see here's door number 1, the center divide here, and door number 2. So it's set 2 different sides. It's understood that the first floor has actually gone under some various changes over the years, and the second floor, however, is pretty much still what it would have been back in the day from when it was originally built. And you see the side structure. Again, the front lawn, which actually would be the back of the building, goes all the way up to this is South Union Street right here, sitting next to the Liberty Band Hall. So that is the Swatara Ferry House. Again, one of 6 structures here in Middletown Borough listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Pretty cool building. We call it the Old Fort, but there's really no proof that it's served as an official fort. It was definitely a ferry house, and persons did live in this structure over the different years. So if you have any questions, comments, please leave them for us. Again, let us know where you're at. Hit those emojis. It always is nice to see people are watching and to see where they're coming from. And as always, if you are wanting to help collect, preserve, and teach the great history of Middletown, Pennsylvania, please send a contribution to 29 East Main Street, Middletown, PA 17057. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week around 2:30. Take care.